Hello everyone and welcome back to Strategic Mind the Pacific. I'm here with the final mission of the Japanese campaign, Battle of the Panama Canal. Let's take a look at this iron chest here for a second, and we're currently getting 19 command points per turn only. Not a lot, to be honest. We'll see. This is the last time we get to spend these here victory points, so we better make it worth it. I don't have multiple submarines, and basically doing aviation. I think we don't have enough points for that, so I'll just go for engineering units. Sure. We'll get supply faster then. It's fine. Right, I will get a wolf pack. Just in case. Right. Let's do everything that's needed for our units first. I want to overstrength my units as much as possible. As before, I think this is probably... Okay, 15 is the max. That's probably the best thing I can do here. Especially with the penalty for command points there. Let's see, yes, those. First strike is probably the best. Yeah. You get to go to 14. That's a lot of experience. And I think I'm gonna go and upgrade these two. There are no more upgrades for these guys available, but since this is the last mission as well, I kind of... Well, I want to go all out, basically. You level up, eh? Sure. Alright, that's all the overstrength. We have quite a bit left, and like I said, no upgrades to be done. Let's take a look at the equipment. You're fine. Let's upgrade this. As long as they have enlarged hangar, I'm already happy, and after that it's kind of just... I mean, I can get dazzle camouflage. But I think the kamikaze aircraft, they seem to be bugged still. Or at least it was last time. So torpedo smoke depth charge. Torpedo smoke depth charge. This is also okay. You have only the fuel tank right now. Well, I'll let them be sapper squads, and I'll do this. Enemy probably has a lot of fortifications, so even for the tanks, I think this is probably worth it, even though it's expensive. This is fine. Sure. Yeah, I might switch it up on land, but the Suki is definitely what I want before getting on land, so that works. Okay, let's give you aerial cameras as well, at the very least. Drop tanks and bombs aren't what I'm looking after necessarily, as long as they have those two. Why can't you get rid of the bombs? Why can't I get rid of anything? What the? I can acquire it, but then when I want to get rid of something, I can't. Well, that would be a serious problem because... So I can... Alright, let's just get drop tanks over it because I'm not sure why that is the case. It's weird. But I'll upgrade all of these also with armor piercing bombs. Okay, that's the best one. Alright, that's all of that. I guess at that point I'm just going to purchase the biggest possible ship that I can get for the money. Which is almost a Super Yamato class, but not quite. Maybe I could have bought it. But I can't get rid of this anymore. I don't know why this is going on. So I guess I'll have to settle for a regular Yamato class. Oh well. That's okay. I'll have to deal with it. Okay, let's... Settings, sound, speech, higher.
We have achieved unbelievable overall success, leaving the U.S. Navy without the capability to operate in the Pacific theater. However, we have to keep in mind the U.S. and their primary ally, the British Empire, both have great naval strength in the Atlantic. The Third Reich, which was tying up those forces, is about to collapse. Thus, we have to be ready to confront a combined American-British fleet.
Yeah, it's not good.
I have to admit, when I began service under Admiral Yamamoto's command, I did not do justice to his talent. Now, however, I am convinced that this is an outstanding man and one of the greatest warriors in the history of Japan. Only his strategic mind has saved our empire numerous times from downfall, and led our fleet from victory to victory through the fog of war. Now, whatever may befall us, I will follow him anywhere, even into the Yomi land.
Alright, well, let's get started. Beheading. By shooting down a plane with Admiral Chester Nimitz, the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Pacific Fleet on board, you have beheaded the U.S. Pacific Fleet and greatly undermined the morale of the whole U.S. military forces. All U.S. naval units and their allies received a poor morale effect. So that's what we got as well.
Do you like watching koi fish, Yamamoto?
Beautiful fish.
Where are my medals?
It is a pity I cannot watch them from my battleship.
Pity indeed. I watch them every day. I think that koi fish are an embodiment of Japan.
Okay.
We should all watch them, at least occasionally. This would have helped to avoid many problems.
Your Majesty, let me tell you everything as it is.
I would not expect anything else from my most decisive Marshal Admiral. Please, continue.
We have to negotiate peace with the United States on acceptable terms as soon as possible. I'm afraid that we will not be able to pretend that we are ready to fight the whole world for much longer. There are several reasons for this. First, Your Majesty, the capitulation of Germany is not far off, and we will be left without allies against the strong coalition. Secondly, due to the naval blockade and the wartime economy, the country is in famine, and the acute lack of all resources is very apparent. Finally, despite our recent success and new weapons, our fleet is incomparably smaller than the overall enemy fleet in terms of numbers. Thus, it is a miracle that we did not lose. Yet, all miracles tend to come to an end.
It was not the kind of speech I expected from my invincible Marshal Admiral. However, I would like to hear the rest of your thoughts, Yamamoto.
Your Majesty, from the very beginning, I saw all the possible consequences of declaring war against the United States and stood firmly in favor of peace. Regrettably, my arguments were left unheeded, and as your loyal servant, I sacrificed my own convictions for the service to my emperor. I made all possible efforts to diligently carry out the order issued to me at the beginning of the war. However, I see that we have reached a dead end. I do not see any other path except for peace negotiations if we want to save the country and the imperial dynasty. Please, heed my arguments.
You are absolutely correct in your assessment of the situation, Yamamoto. As you were correct before the war. The problem is there are few people, except us, who see it that way. Yet I think that we will soon be able to act. I like your plan of peace negotiations. However, you yourself have just described how difficult our current predicament is. I'm sure that the United States will refuse any peace negotiations with us, hoping to beat us easily with their military might. You have to prove them wrong. Make one last decisive victory, and I will give my full support to your plan for peaceful negotiations.
Yes, Your Majesty. I have already prepared an unbelievable surprise for both the U.S. and the British navies.
Well, that's something.
From Prime Minister Tojo to Admiral Yamamoto. The plan of attack on the Panama Canal which you offered was unexpected. However, after thoroughly considering all the factors, I have come to understand it is actually the brilliant work of a strategic mastermind. Kicking the U.S. forces out of the Pacific has not brought Japan victory in the war. Furthermore, it seems we don't have any good options for other tactical operations. Invading the United States mainland, where a Japanese soldier would be at gunpoint from a rifle behind every blade of grass, is obviously reckless. The lack of offensive initiative, however, is even worse. In this situation, our best decision would be to weaken the strategic positions of our enemies by seizing the main transport route of the Western Hemisphere. This operation is well within our Navy's strength, and at the same time, it will cause huge economic problems for them. Along with it, we will kick the British out of the Caribbean and punish Cuba that has unreasonably gone to war with us to please their American masters. In the name of the Empire, bring our enemies to their knees. May the gods bless you for this feat.
Our fleet has reached the Isthmus of Panama from the south without any difficulties. It seems we were able to ambush the enemy.
Precisely. The enemy has been unable to react to our attack in time. However, according to the intelligence reports, the combined forces of the American and the British fleets have already entered the Caribbean Sea. I am afraid they will disrupt our plans if they use the features of this theater of operations wisely.
What do you mean?
It would be enough for the enemy to blockade our fleet from entering the Caribbean Sea. In this case, the seizure of the Panama Canal has no strategic value, as we will not be able to provide for its solid defense. If I were the enemy commander, I would concentrate my ships north of the Isthmus of Panama and would make sure each of our ships coming from the canal comes under the concentrated fire of the whole fleet. A cowardly yet effective tactic. I am sure it is the one that the Americans and British will opt for.
However, the enemy needs time to get there.
That's right. I suggest our landing parties arrive there as soon as they can, in order to seize the control centers for the southern and the northern canal floodgates. However, this must be done without heavy weapons involved. Artillery and airstrikes on the controls would end up with the floodgates being inoperable.
We will be sure to keep all strategic considerations in mind. Please continue.
Our fleet must enter the Caribbean Sea before the British-American naval forces reach there. Leaving the enemy fleets without tactical advantage will enable us to defeat them in decisive battles, thus taking over the points of strategic importance: La Correra, David, Kingston, Georgetown, and Havana. Control over those will allow us to hold on to the Panama Canal.
Yes, I like this plan. I hope the favor of Lady Luck will help us to accomplish it. I command you to begin the operation.
Right. We have to capture the floodgates control centers. Annihilate the US Atlantic Fleet. Yes, the Atlantic Fleet, you heard that right. Annihilate the British fleet, seize all victory access, 19. So there are actually more things than before. This is Colombia. Then we have Panama. This is San Jose. In Nicaragua, I think. Or no, San Jose, Nicaragua, and then Honduras up here. Okay. Sure.
We were destined to serve aboard this magnificent vessel.
So in regards to deploying here, that's probably not a good idea. I would not think that they would have any fleet down here except maybe a submarine. That could be it. But we can take these positions rather quickly, I think.
Observing the horizon.
Let's get our
Just
destroyers.
show us the target.
We are the instrument of the Emperor's will.
And these here. So I think, especially with that airfield out there, that it might be okay to put...
We bring the storm. Firestorm.
Like, they probably have a lot of anti-air. But I have only 3 destroyers in total, and we have no support on this map whatsoever. Port-au-Prince. And then indeed Cuba. Yeah, I'm playing this one blind, and I don't want to mess things up, so it does take a bit longer. Cross the Panama Canal with the fleet. So I guess they mean everything.
The Imperial fleet knows no defeat.
I guess so. I mean, I have no clue what that means, so I have no other choice but to just go through there with everything. And deploy everything. Yeah, but that can't be right, because if I wanna... Let's just say I'm gonna take the fleet out there.
War is our power.
Infantry should probably also deploy, for example, on the different sides. Like, I need to get through here. So
Japanese warriors are the most feared and deadly of all.
There we go.
We will die if necessary.
So let's get one infantry on this side, because we have only these there. We cannot use artillery on these, but that's fine up here.
Waiting for the Emperor's orders.
So like that, and then I'll also put a tank in there. So that the thing is that not, yeah, basically I need my units to work their way up north to, at the very least, I guess this. Actually I don't need that many. As long as I take these two, then this. No, because I'm going for all of the points, so I still need to take all of these other objectives. Yeah, okay.
Japanese warriors are the most feared and deadly of all.
So that doesn't work.
Yes, Commander.
I keep pressing right click because of other games.
The samurai are always
On my
ready.
2 infantry up front. And a recon there. I think I can still use a tank there. So I'll just have to make sure I don't use the actual artillery there. But I will deploy... Indeed, also... Come on, game. No! No! Why, game? Why? Alright, let's try that one again. Because of that crash.
I'm still here.
We serve faithfully. Observing the horizon.
We are the heart of the Imperial Navy, no matter what the battleships say. No one can escape our fire. No one can escape our fire.
Alright, again, 1 infantry out there. Let's deploy the recon there. I'm still going to deploy artillery there, even though I'm not going to use it there specifically. And then also take 2 tanks. And another infantry. And then on this side, I'm deploying these. 25 turns. Well, let's start out with some aviation recon over here. Boom. And another one over here, because they most assuredly will have naval guns here too. And also some tanks apparently.
We serve faithfully.
Good day, Commander. Look at those guns. They are huge.
Your orders.
Okay, so I need...
Navy is the stalwart defender of the Empire.
Yeah, going for the secondary is fine then.
Long live His Majesty, the Emperor! We open the doors to the abyss. We will win the day. Blew them up in no time.
And I do have enough points at least to use the other gun another time on this one. But I'd rather go and attack the anti-aircraft gun here.
All guns ready.
Let's use incendiaries to... Thought it would finish them off in one go, but I guess it didn't. Or won't.
We are the muscle of the Imperial Navy.
So... Okay, they still have other ships in there too.
Just show us the target. Start the engine. Targeting the enemy. We have silenced them.
It's the first anti-aircraft gun. And this is a hero, so he can also still move afterwards.
Entering the designated area. Engaging in combat.
Because if I do that
Destined to serve
and launch a seaplane...
magnificent vessel.
Okay, they claim to be not in good shape if they go through there, but I wonder from what that is. These are likely also anti-aircraft, but the fact that they can already not get in there is pretty bad.
Good day, Commander.
But I wonder because of what that is. 1, 2, 3. Because they will have lost their Overwatch. You have naval gun range. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
We have more guns than the entire enemy fleet.
So what I'm gonna do
Are there any targets?
get them in there. These guys will still help. So I do need to finish that off.
Imperial destroyer at your service. Our strength is in numbers of dead enemies. Our strength is in numbers of dead.
Yeah, you can no longer move.
All hail the Emperor! Good timing is the key to success. Engage. Number one. Engage. Number one. Engage. Number one.
That's fine. Okay, so there's another one all the way to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be able to bomb this then, though.
What does the Emperor want us to do?
These guys are in support.
We will be victorious. Our huge guns are about to fire.
Okay.
We will be victorious.
Can't go through here because the floodgates aren't open.
Route confirmed.
But I can still attack this thing. If I use armor piercing... No, I'll just use incendiaries.
Gaijin's insurance shall ensure their death.
For one hit.
Look at those guns. They are huge.
Kinda thought I would take them out already, but they have nothing left. So it's not really gonna be an issue.
The sky is like an ocean.
And now there should no longer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We are the instrument of the Emperor's will. Look at those guns. They are huge.
So that loses their Overwatch
What does
too.
the Emperor want us to do?
And they're probably relatively weak right now.
The enemy won't see us coming. We surpass pathetic Gaijins in everything.
I'm gonna use these because there are no enemy ships
Just a few moments and we'll be
that I can really go after right now.
We have freed their eternal souls from their miserable bodies.
Do not underestimate us.
A tactical bomber is here.
11,
Just
okay.
a few moments and we'll be there. Wow, that was a tremendous explosion.
This
We surpass
already
pathetic
helps.
Gaijins in
This is just a regular bomber, yeah.
Here we come.
I thought for a second that that might have been a mistake, but luckily it wasn't.
Things are going to explode. Just a few moments and we'll be there.
We will be victorious.
They can also still fire one more time. Curious to see what that would be.
Good day, Commander. The Navy is the stalwart defender of the Empire.
Imperial destroyer at your service.
The Imperial fleet knows no defeat.
In unity is our strength. Be
Uh,
careful of the bombs.
Okay.
Bow to the gifts of the Empire. Bow to the gifts of the Empire. There better be targets.
Oh, right. I cannot use those. Luckily, I can still move, just not there.
Approaching. Their days are numbered. In unity is our
Well,
strength.
that wasn't perfect.
Good day, Commander. Let us bathe in the wisdom of our
But
godly Emperor.
it will allow me to clear the mines. Okay, some double attack. Wow.
One more territory for the Empire.
To take that part of the canal.
Your orders. Our strength is in numbers of dead
And I
enemies.
cannot attack that in any other way than having these guys land and do attacks there. So only pretty much just clearing everything around it will be worth it.
The Navy is the stalwart defender of the Empire.
All guns ready.
Hmm.
Long live His Majesty.
Just attack there. I don't see any anti-aircraft, but I can totally see one anti-aircraft being here and then preventing me from attacking there.
Emperor down. We carry the deadly arrows of the Emperor.
Verifying the enemy's location.
There's not.
We have more guns than the entire enemy fleet, if you include aircraft.
Here we come. Things are going to explode.
Well. Attack there.
Approaching. We bring the storm. Firestorm.
I need to plan it accordingly.
Let's lose some weight. If you want to run from us,
Really?
you have to do it faster.
Because I cannot use bombs here, I might as well move in there.
We bring the storm. Firestorm.
Land. And oh, that it also triggers for tanks. Well, that's a lesson learned. Okay. Didn't know that.
We bring the storm.
1, 2, 3, 4.
With our aircraft, it is not necessary to come close to the enemy. All systems operational.
We bring death on our wings. Just a few moments and we'll be there. Wait, we have more gifts for you. Carrying bombs to enemy lines.
Okay, they surrendered, but
Enemy detected. Finally.
what did attack me? Oh, this. Wow. I'm getting smashed here. Luckily I can just use regular repairs. It's been a little while since I played the last game because I usually finish missions in one go. And then in this case, for example, it takes a while before a new game is started. Or a new mission, that is. And I don't think I
Do not underestimate us.
have any bombers left.
Already there. We have more guns than the entire enemy fleet, if you include aircraft.
Well,
Are there any
you
targets?
here.
We are the heart of the Imperial Navy, no matter what the battleships say. Who do you want me to kill?
Especially on the first turn, I don't want to get too frisky with my aircraft because there's a high likelihood that many of the enemy's air units will go after me, and that's why I don't want to spend too much time
Deadly arrows of the Empire.
having spread out bombers, etc. That's just not a good thing to do right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't attack that.
With our aircraft, it is not necessary.
I will go after them and them though. That I can do.
Observing the horizon.
Well, Might just as well go and attack this.
Just show us the target. We found their weak spot. Enemy vessels are lurking nearby.
So it's down to 3. And I still have you. Okay. So I destroyed that gun. And I can land one more unit out here. I think artillery is a bit too risky. Let's go for the recon.
Requesting fire support against enemy
And, well, these guys will be vulnerable, but let's hope the enemy can't see them. Gun range 4.
No enemy can exceed the range of our guns.
I'll move you out. If these guys will go down and attack that,
The Emperor's orders.
there's not a lot I can do.
Finally, some orders. Looking for a prey.
I'm in
It's
position.
I think it's unlikely they have submarines here, but
Your orders. Do you require
we'll
assistance?
see.
That area is under our control.
We are the Sea Wolves. We will die if necessary. We are ready to serve. Eternal glory awaits us. Those bombs are heavy.
We are the muscle of the Imperial Navy. We are the muscle of the Imperial Navy.
I have that bomber out there. Uh-oh.
The warriors of the sky are at your command.
Oh, man.
We deliver death. The sky is like an ocean.
Well, I can only pray at this point for this thing.
Only a few bombs left. Prepare
Oh well.
to disengage.
We are the swarm.
Okay. Well, that works so far. Some great Overwatch. Really? Wow. Okay. Well, don't tell me... Okay, they can attack through there? Seriously? Okay. Well, that was something. I mean, it didn't go extremely bad, and luckily it didn't count as losing there. There's a lot of things to be going on, but I've been playing for quite a long time already, so I'm just gonna end it here for now. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first part. Not that much action yet, but we'll definitely rack things up after this. So take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.